Hello guys, it's Ben here, back with another video for you, and this is my review of yesterday's Premier League game as Spurs came back from a difficult first half against Brighton, 2-0 down to scavenge a point 2-2. A game that showed both strengths and weaknesses in the side. It showed that Thomas Frank is an adaptable coach and that can get a result even from a somewhat lacklustre showing, but also proves that this team is still in need of strengthening. Into the game then, in the first half, we immediately go behind very quickly as Ruta plays a lovely through ball to Minter, who manages to get in behind the Spurs back line, with only Vicario to be who rounds Vicario and slots it into the empty net to make it 1-0 to Brighton. We do have a lot of the ball for pretty much most of the first half, but really struggled to create anything meaningful, and Brighton looked threatening every time they came forward, and that pattern pretty much continued all the way through the first half as Brighton then went 2-0 up as Ziyari gets the ball on the left-hand side and goes for a curling shot into the far corner, which somehow I think Vicario really should at the very least save it, because he's got more than enough time to see it coming towards him, and he still gets half a glove on it and it goes in. I think that's pretty lacklustre goalkeeping, to be fair, from Vicario, but it ends up in the corner and it's 2-0 to Brighton. And here's what I will say at this point: if we're 2-0 down last season, we don't come back, but eventually we do. Right at the end of the first half, we do pull a goal back. Eventually, we get some good passing together. We find some forward rhythm. It falls to Kudus, whose attempted shot, basically lands at the feet of Richarlison, who manages to poke the ball into the net to make it 2-1, and half the deficit, and give at least a glimmer of hope as we come into half time. Then in the second half, we come back with a little bit more purpose. Then crucially, Frank makes the substitutions and crucially brings on Xavi Simons and puts him in the number 10 role that we've all wanted him to be in since he's arrived for us. And my word, did he change the game on its head. Immediately we had a bit of creativity there. He had great forward runs. He was driving the team forward, on the ball, off the ball. Probably should have scored himself. He had two great opportunities. One that he goes for the far corner, which the Brighton keeper saves, and the second one, he has the ball coming towards him, but he can't mistime his shot, and he doesn't get a full connection. We're probing and pressing, but it feels like the game's beginning to drift away ever so slightly. But then, with less than 10 minutes to go, we work the ball onto the right. Kudus floats it across into the box. It seems to be heading to the keeper, but Van Heck, in attempting to clear it, his header goes in past his own keeper into the back of his own net to make it 2-2, to the relief of all of us. We even had a very good chance to snatch it at the end. Kudus has a good shot that flicks off the foot of the Brighton defender and nearly loops over the keeper into the net, but it goes over the bar. But we hold on to get a point rescued, I'd say, more than two dropped. The game highlighted a lot of things. Xavi Simons absolutely should be in the number 10 role for us. I think that's undisputed now, beyond doubt. As I say, we rescued a point, which definitely wouldn't have happened last season. That's a fact. Thomas Frank showed, even when his game plan isn't working, he's got the nous, and crucially, he's not stubborn enough to change it. He changed it, and we grinded a result out. So, this team is still a work in progress. We've had a very good start, but, there are still things that need to be worked on and, stuff to improve on. But we keep moving on, and we move on now. Big week ahead. We start our campaign in the League Cup on Wednesday night, I hope against Doncaster, before then the Premier League home game against Wolves on Saturday. So, we've got momentum, but we need to keep that going, and hopefully we do so with a couple of very good wins this week. What did you guys make of it all? Leave all of your thoughts as ever. I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I will see you soon. And as always, come on, you Spurs.